We're living in a world now which is going to experience even more extreme interconnectedness than it did before in the economic sphere, in politics, in the environmental and social issues that we're going to face. It'll continue to be a disjointed and bumpy ride. I think we're having a situation where economic issues are more and more being decided by politicians on populist matters, and therefore it is policy, not analysis, that is driving global markets. At the same time, environmental issues are coming to the fore. We're beginning to get into reasonably unsustainable areas, and overall we have a crisis of leadership, right? So from the perspective of what are the big issues, I think inequality needs to be dealt with aggressively. We have a situation where access to opportunity and wealth is not clearly a path that everyone can see today. The Occupy Wall Street movement is going to gain momentum in different cities simply because of this inequality issue, and we need to address it. I think it's not so much models as themes. I think what we're going to have is much more of a focus on emerging markets. I think we're going to see a greater alteration in the perception of risk premiums, because it's always been that emerging markets have been priced with a premium for risk. Unfortunately, when risk came, it came from New York, it came from London, and going forward we need to recalibrate our perception so that emerging markets are not perceived in quite the same way. Second, we have to look at value creation coming through operational enhancement, not necessarily through financial leverage. The effect of deleveraging is going to be felt in the next few years, but the impact of operational enhancement will remain in the industry for many years to come. I think the important thing in the Middle East is going to be more of a theme around public and private partnership. We're going to focus more on job creation, we're going to focus more on employment and on entrepreneurship, because these are the themes that are necessary to enable this region to go to its next level of development. I think we have to alter the manner in which we look at businesses. We've had such a focus for so many years on shareholder value creation. I think the approach over the course of the next 10 years has got to be a stakeholder approach. People, when they're looking at whether to buy water X or water Y, are going to buy water X because company X invests in its community and does more for the people that are going to be buying that water bottle. So I think it's very, very important to recognize that the stakeholder approach is what is going to drive business. That in itself is going to drive competitive innovation. Because what are the themes that I see going forward in the future? The most important being SMEs. I think SMEs are going to need to be more and more focused on to provide employment, to provide entrepreneurship, and to provide innovation. I think access to technology is extremely critical, and in a holistic manner, these two are going to be the big themes to drive competitive innovation. I think the private equity industry is well positioned to help improve the state of the world. It certainly can't do it on its own, because it influences so many different companies in so many different industries across so many different sectors. So for example, at Abraaj, how do we focus on this? We have a program called Asset, which is our strategic stakeholder engagement track, in which we engage with our communities on a multiple level. So for example, if we start with just our employees, we employ hundreds of thousands of people across our companies, and therefore we have, including their family members and the stakeholders which they in turn engage with, we influence millions of people. I think through our ethical standards, through the manner in which we do our business, through the approach that we take in formulating our business strategy, which is very transparent, I think we get into a point where we can influence the thinking of these people, we change the manner in which they approach life, and in turn, because of the very clear and transparent manner in which we define having fun, I think it's important that we reach out to all segments of that community.